Alright, everybody, what's good? This is the Big D Show. We are still setting up. We're going to start you off with one of our sponsors, Green Hawk Studios, our boy Lawrence Green. We have his performance live from Lakeland. We're going to go ahead and start you off with that today. We're going to get into the Big D Show sports predictions. I got Coach with me today live in the studio. As you see with the second camera setup. It is going down today, folks, 11 to 12. Do not miss out. We are live the whole time. Like I said, we're starting off with my boy, LG, Lawrence Green, one of our sponsors here on the show, Green Hawk Studios. He invaded Lakeland not too long ago. This is his performance. Enjoy.
What's up, boys? The Clowns. How we doing out there? Yeah, man, I like it. Cool. What's up, DJ? DJ's, what's the name? C-Money. You didn't get it from DJ C-Money. You ain't got yourself nothing. You just do a promo on my set? That was sweet. That was something I would have done. C-Money, DJ C-Money. He looks like he likes some BBWs, you know what I'm saying? Okay, see, son, he thought he had a bunch of white dudes on this shit. You don't know me, brother, okay? 2 out of 10 black dudes say I'm blacker than them. Now, it's only 2. And it's in an all-white neighborhood that they live in, but I'm still blacker than them. Anyway, get back to the BBWs, big beautiful women, okay? Shit, I'm LG, thought y'all knew. Get back to the BBWs, big beautiful women. Y'all remember that movie Gremlins? Yeah, man, little mogwais and shit, but when they're cute, they're all furry, gizmo, you know? Take care of a mogwai is kind of like making love to a BBW. Don't ever feed them after midnight, and watch your ass once you get them wet. Yeah. So, I'm a married man. I'm from Tampa. Been married a while. Been married almost 7 years. Been with her for 10 years. Before my wife, I was dating. You know what I'm saying, DJ? I was dating. I was out in the game. I liked older women, though. Much older. Yes, sir. Anyway, this one I was with, I liked her a whole lot and shit, so I bought her some lingerie. It was our anniversary and all that. Got some panties all laid out. Said to her, I said, so what you want to slip on when you go upstairs? Depends. That's shitty. God damn. But, so I got with my wife, you know, we started dating. You know, my wife, she's a pretty woman. She's very pretty. Right, Jack Johnson? Oh, very pretty. Always getting her nails done, getting her hair done, you know. I'm in so many fucking nail salons, like I start speaking 3 different types of Asian. I'm walking down and I'm like, Saigon! That's on my line. Cool time? I didn't know what this shit means, like Korean, Vietnamese, and fucking Laos and shit. Not even your typical Asian, you know, like those other Southeastern Asian. How y'all doing out there? Jack, I hate your fucking party and Grateful Dead is not out there. You go out there and you get them, you bring them back in here. I want to fucking have some fun, goddammit. Or not, let them play hacky sack. I'm next. It's a party, goddammit. Jack Johnson, I want y'all to know something about Jack Johnson. This is one of the greatest dudes in the game. When I first started into comedy down in Tampa, you know, Jack was down there, and he's tall. I wonder how big his penis is. I mean, I'm sure it's got to be pretty long. You know what I mean, ladies? Huh? And his brother, too. I mean, it's like, Jesus Christ. If they turn around in the shower, you'd be like, poor ladies. Get in hell, guys. Anyway, getting back to my set. So, like I said, I'm a married man and all that, and, any people in relationships out there? Yeah. How many times has this happened to you? She dreams you're cheating on her, and you wake up to a fucking fight in the morning. She's like, get your ass up. You're like, whoa, what's going on here? Hell no! What's her name, motherfucker? Who the fuck you talking about? Where's breakfast and shit? I gotta go to work. You know? It goes on for like 2 or 3 hours and shit. It's all crazy, man. You know? And my wife's even got so bad in my head that like she fucked my wet dreams up. Like I'll have a dream, like I'll walk in a room, there's naked ladies and shit. I'm like, hey, what's going on? They're like, yeah! I'll tell your wife, you don't ever look at naked women besides your wife. Fuck your wet dream up, you son of a bitch. It gets crazy with me a little bit, guys. You just bear with me. How dare you cough during my set, DJ? That was just so... I couldn't even make him laugh. That's awesome. I love it. I like playing around a little bit with the crowd. Sorry about that. Hey, what's going on back there? Girls? They have a restraining order against me. That's why they're back 50 feet. You guys wondered earlier why they were sitting back there. It was nothing personal. There's a legal matter. You guys are 50 feet away. It's fine. I'm not coming closer. Apologize for that, comedians. They would have come closer if not. But, where was that? So, it's 420 goddamn, right? Smoking some weed, having some fun. Medical marijuana, Amendment 2. It passed. You know what I'm saying? Went and saw my doctor and shit. The gay ass dude. He was like, you know, what would you say if I told you to suck my cock for the card? And I was all, what'd you say? Because we can get this shit pumping every visit. You feel me? So, shout out to the potato chip bar over there. I don't know if you guys have enjoyed the Cheetos, Fritos, potato, original Lay's, or one bag left of sour cream and onion. That's right, I remember it. But, speaking of potato chips, don't you ever think that you can talk to your girl for the first time about some ass play if you're eating a can of Pringles? Because if you eat a can of Pringles like me, you know, once you get that first finger in the can, then you're getting every finger in the can, and you get your own fucking fist in there and shit. You're like, yeah, sweet, think about some ass play, so good. You're like, thank you, sir. Not a fan. What you ladies want, the restraining order is in effect. You guys are back there, don't worry, we're just on pictures. What you want, ladies, is a Cheetos man. Because that motherfucker right there, if he gives you oral, he's gonna lick his fingers, wipe his fingers off on his shirt, keep going. He'll finish that whole motherfucking bag. That's some game, okay? Potato chip game. Yep. Anyway, man, so rap songs, we like rap, right? Hip-hop, all that? Yeah. What if some rap songs were actually country western songs like, Bad and Bougie? Got my girl, she's a floozy. Got a Ford truck, it's a doozy. Gonna make it all the way to the jacuzzi, yep. Bad and Bougie, yep. That's kind of crazy, right?
Look at me.
Some people don't know bad and bougie, that's fine. It just means being bad and bougie. Two things, same time. That's why it's bad and bougie. So where was I at? Oh yeah, so, like I said, I'm married, you know, and my wife recently, you know, it was our anniversary, and she goes, do you want dinner and a movie? I was like, yeah. I don't want dinner and a movie. I want to cover you in Viagra and ecstasy and cocaine. I want to sniff it and lick it off your body. I want to make love to you with the high bounds, look the God in the face and say, Father, I am the one. And then he turns me into a hermaphrodite conveniently so I can scissor and fuck you at the same time, just for anniversary. Fuck a dinner or a fucking movie. But you know what? What's the plan? So we settled on going to the porn shop. Go to this place called Hollywood Porn, right, where all the vibrators got movie title names and shit. And I'm like, so what are we looking for? Something your size. You're goddamn right, my size. Nothing bigger ever in my bedroom line there. So we go there, and this fucking first one's called Shaq, this big black one and shit. And I'm like, can you dig it? You better not be. Next we look at some big fucking rubber hand called Schindler's Fist. Fuck no. I can't find anything my size. She can't find anything my size. I'm getting embarrassed. Finally, she pulls something off the top shelf and goes, this is you? I look at it and I go, it's a butt plug named Stuart Little. Yo, my name is Lawrence Green. I appreciate y'all's time very much, man. These amazing comedians here. Thank you for having me.
That was Lawrence Green, one of our sponsors here on the Big D Show. What up, everybody? It's your boy Big D. We're going to start it off with a little bit of music. We got my boy Ike Royal. How about them Cowboys?
Ike did the beat. Yeah. How about them Cowboys? How about them Cowboys? How about them Cowboys? How about them Cowboys? Charles Haley with the sack. How about them Cowboys? Put the team up on my back. How about them Cowboys? 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 Take my talents out to Dallas, cause I'm a cowboy. How about them Cowboys? How about them Cowboys? In the kitchen, Whit and Jason, I'm a player's coach like Garrett Jason. We've been winning now, I'm glad they hating. We gon' kill the Giants, call Perry Mason. Throw it up to Bryant, that's a touchdown. Give the ball to Zeke and let him run around. Dan Bailey, I can kick a couple miles. Hoping Bryce Butler is another Miles. Byron Jones when I take the pick. Orlando Scandrick when I make a hit. All this paper gotta make it flip. On my way to Texas, I might take a trip. Preach the first like Barry Church. You might leave the game and need a nurse. Giving work when I'm on the turf. Even make fat and beat the Madden curse. Making plays like Jeff Heath. Been in the game since LP. Lot of sewer, I'm a connoisseur. Nothing about my combos you can tell me. I'm a beast on D like Sean Lee. By my spot in the slot like Beasley. I'ma keep it pushing like Doug Free. The last season don't even mean nothing. Welcome to Jerry World. Home of the boys in blue. I need a Super Bowl like 1992. Used to play wide receiver. I was a corner too, but this what I was born to do. I'm about to make more than you. How about them Cowboys? How about them Cowboys? How about them Cowboys? How about them Cowboys? Charles Haley with the sack. How about them Cowboys? Put the team up on my back. How about them Cowboys? 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 Take my talents out to Dallas, cause I'm a cowboy. How about them Cowboys? How about them Cowboys?
All right. What up, everybody? That was my dog Ike Royal with his track, How About Them Cowboys? You know who he's got today. But I'm telling you who I got today. It is your boy Big D. Welcome back to the show. Season 1, Episode 2 here on Twitch TV, here on the Domosaurus Rex channel. Like I said, we were tired of going through backdoor routes. We were tired of going through other platforms. We're giving it to you live and direct right here. Thanks to our sponsors, DraftKings, FanDuel, Greenhawk Studios, and of course, NegDog.com. We are coming to you live from the NegDog.com studios. Once again, this is your boy Big D, aka Domosaurus Rex. Go check out my music if you are a fan. Go check out my friends' music here, the sponsors of the show, the artists who keep us going, you, the fans, keep them going. Shout out to Ike Royal, that was his track. How about them Cowboys? Once again, Greenhawk Studios, one of the sponsors here of Domosaurus Rex and, of course, the Big D Show. You started off the show with his comedy set from Lakeland a couple months back. Big shout out to him. If you liked his comedy, go check out his channel, Greenhawk Studios. So like I said, it is Season 1, Episode 2 here on the Big D Show. It's Sunday, September the 16th, 2018. How did you do last week? I killed it. We absolutely killed it last week thanks to Jimmy Knox's picks. I will have Neg Dog here on the show today as well. You will see him in the camera over in this direction. However, it's kind of blending in right now. You can kind of see a floating camo jacket. So, shout out to everyone watching. Of course, shout out to Sal at the mix. We were tuned in this morning with him. He was playing some of my music. And, of course, did a little bit of an impromptu interview as well. We'll be sure to get back on his show here coming up very soon. But, of course, we would like to have him on our show as well. So if you want to see Sal on our show coming up soon and, of course, get your music heard on the mix, be sure to comment and like the stream, and be sure to comment now in the chat as well. I know my boy El Franco would probably be interested in that. So shout out to the whole Beach gang. We're going to get right into it today. Give you our DraftKings plays of the day. As you see right here, we've got my lineup. I gave you a couple of lineups last week, kind of spread it around, gave you a whole bunch of options. It was week 1. You don't really know who's going to do what until you actually see the usage on the field in a real game. And as we see here, I'm going with one lineup this week. That's all I'm giving you, folks, because you guys were stealing my winnings. We were up there, but I seem to be tied with a lot of people. So I looked like everybody was watching the show, and I'm real appreciative of that. But I got to make sure I keep my super secret plays on the low. Unless you become a subscriber here on the channel, where if you join my email list, I will send you my super secret plays. So be sure to subscribe, be sure to send them bits, and be sure to share and like this post. And like I said, just become one of those super fans here on the show. I haven't set up my Patreon account yet, but when we do that as well, Patreon subscribers will be sure to get those picks and plays. For the rest of you folks, these are picks that are guaranteed to get you in the money today. Use a combination of these and maybe some of your sleepers that you've got out there, and you should have a good day. We're starting off with quarterback Tyrod Taylor. It's Cleveland versus New Orleans. Cleveland absolutely blew my prediction out of the water yesterday. I had them losing against the spread. I thought Pittsburgh was going to cover. Obviously wasn't the case. They came out strong. They came to play. They got the tie. It's their best start since 2004. New Orleans offense looked absolutely amazing against the Bucs last week, who did pull out the win, however. I like Cleveland and New Orleans, to be a decent game today. Tyrod Taylor is going to have a big game in order to keep Cleveland in this one. And just like Fitzpatrick last week, I do like Tyrod Taylor to do that. He's going to be a threat on the ground mostly, I think, today, as New Orleans showed a lack of care in the quarterback running game against Fitzpatrick last week, who did expose him for about 50 or 60 yards rushing. Look for Taylor, a much more explosive runner, to do a better job of this, and also look for him to get into the end zone on the ground in addition to the air. I like him for at least 2 TDs today against New Orleans in a losing effort for the Browns. Coming up next, James Conner. We saw him take over the role for Le'Veon Bell last week against those Browns, who are tough and stingy against the run. I think he more than held his own in that effort, which was a tie. Roethlisberger really didn't help their efforts there in that game. Threw a couple of interceptions against the a Browns team that really isn't that great. I think Connor's going to have a huge game at home in front of his hometown fans, where he played for the Pitt Panthers in the same stadium. They're very familiar with this guy. Of course, he beat cancer. What a survivor story. Of course, shout out to the chat room here. I got to stop this for a moment. Thanks to Sal again. Big shout out to you, brother. I appreciate you being in here and checking us out. Go check out his show. Go check out his replays on TuneIn. If you didn't check us out this morning, like I said, I was on his show again this morning. But back to the picks here. Running back James Conner, like we were saying, beat cancer. What an amazing story this was. He's coming back. He's made an NFL roster, getting the opportunity of a lifetime now with Le'Veon Bell out. And I think he continues to produce. Look for him to get a touchdown or 2 today against KC if Pittsburgh has any chance of trying to pull this game out, because those Chiefs are extremely tough, even with second-year quarterback Pat Mahomes, but really kind of got that rookie stature. He didn't play for a whole season underneath Alex Smith last year, who's known to be a guy who brings quarterbacks up to his level, at least in the IQ department, learning the offense and the system that they're in. Mahomes is a super talent. I look for the Chiefs to beat Pittsburgh today, but we'll get to that a little bit later. James Conner, a big play today, though, if Pittsburgh has any chance. Chris Thompson, one of my sleeper plays today. Kind of a little bit pricey for a guy who splits time. Of course, Adrian Peterson now with the Redskins. And, that might be a little bit of a draw away for most people, because Peterson probably will get the majority of the short yardage touches when it comes close to the goal line. But Thompson is an explosive threat out of the backfield. Indianapolis isn't necessarily great against stopping the run. I look for Thompson, who had a good game running the ball last week on limited carries. I think he averaged 13 yards a carry last week. He's going to get all of the reps out of the backfield on third down and passing situations. He caught, I think, seven touches last week out of the backfield. Look for him to have a good game in a combination of running and receiving against Indianapolis, who doesn't have a great defense. And I like Washington to continue their role against this Indy defense. Of course, Washington did have a good game last week. Look for them to continue going with that. Wide receiver, Mike Evans, probably one of the most consistent picks for me that you will have all season, barring injury or something to that effect. Mike Evans, this guy is damn near unstoppable when it comes to the deep ball. I don't know why the Bucs don't kind of run it a little bit more often. He's not necessarily the greatest route runner when it comes to short yardage and mid-range type stuff, but his yards per catch average is amazing. He's going to get 10 yards a catch minimum. He's going to run a couple of comebacks. He's going to run the post deep in. He's going to run that fade route. And when he does run that fade route today against Philly, I don't see any corner that's quite big enough out there, or against any team in the league that's big enough to go up and get that jump ball against him. I look for Fitz to continue to target Evans early and often in this game in order to keep Tampa Bay in it at home against the defending Super Bowl champions, and what should be a battle of the backups and a great game. We'll get to that a little bit later, though. Coming up next, Robbie Anderson, a guy that looks like Sam Darnold has connected with early in this NFL season and career for Darnold. You got to have that guy who's really your outlet and your look-to guy and the guy you want to get the ball to in a tough situation. Anderson's been kind of a proven commodity for the Jets now for a couple of seasons. Wasn't really a big name coming out of college, but has proven himself and has made himself worthy. He's one of my plays for another value pick today again. Look for Darnold to look for him in the red zone and possibly on a big play against the Dolphins in order to take home a win today for the Jets at home. Pierre Garçon, disappointing week last week, drawing a tough matchup against Xavier Rhodes in what was a difficult game for San Francisco in general. The Vikings defense is just extremely stingy, and they proved that last week, stopping Garçon and limiting him to 2 catches. I look for him to have a bounce-back game this week against Detroit, who looked awful on Monday night against the Jets. Of course, their new coach kind of adjusting still, trying to get his defense right. Coach Matt Patricia coming over from the Patriots, but, I don't think it's going to happen this week. Kyle Shanahan, second-year coach for the 49ers, is going to look to expose this defense, still looking to put itself together, especially getting rattled by the Jets last week. Look for Garçon to have a bounce-back game, as Jimmy G is going to target him often. Had 7 throw-to attempts, but only 2 catches last week. I think that's just because he had a tough matchup. Look for him to have a much more explosive game in what is another value pick. One of my sleepers for the day, also, this is probably my biggest sleeper play at tight end, Ben Watson for New Orleans against Cleveland. Drew Brees absolutely loves this guy. I think Watson's like 38 years old now. He's been in the league for a super long time, and he has developed quite the relationship with Drew Brees over their years playing together. He's now back on the team after he wasn't on the Saints last year. Of course, they had Coby Fleener. That experiment didn't work out too well. Watson came back last week, had a decent game against the Bucs. I look for him to get a red zone touchdown today, and being a super sleeper play, I look for him to get to that 8 to 12 point range and help carry you from the tight end position for a super, super cheap price of only $3,400. Moving on to the flex position, Melvin Gordon. This guy has improved from a player who could not come out of the backfield whatsoever his rookie season, when they would opt to go to Danny Woodhead exclusively on third downs. At this point in his career, he is a 3-down back. This is why they took him in the first round when they did, out of Wisconsin. He's a threat on the ground. He's a threat through the air now. And look for him to have a huge game against Buffalo while it's still warm. The Chargers flying out from out west. They're going to come in. Phillip Rivers is going to distribute the ball, and look for him to get Melvin Gordon on those check down routes multiple times throughout the game, as well as him establishing himself in the running game. I think they're going to have the ball early and often because this Bills offense is atrocious. Josh Allen getting his first start today may look to help steady the ship a little bit, but he didn't really look great in their performance. But I don't blame him for that, especially because he came in at halftime. I look for the Bills to be a little bit better, but they're a team that is going to be in the toilet all season. Look for the Chargers to get the ball early and often. Like I said, if you like a couple of other plays from the Chargers, we'll get to that on my FanDuel side here. Like I said, I did mix it up a little bit for my 2 exclusive sponsors. But the Chargers definitely going to be good plays. Any of their players today, I do like to have a big output. And the Texans are my defensive choice of today. A lot of people are high on Tennessee's offense because it's been together for a little bit now, but losing Delanie Walker for the season I think is going to be a huge blow for Mariota's performance for the rest of the season. Look for Houston to try and exploit that and make Tennessee struggle in their first game without him. So there it is, your DraftKings plays of the day. Tyrod Taylor, James Conner, Chris Thompson, Mike Evans, Robbie Anderson, Pierre Garçon, Ben Watson, Melvin Gordon III, and the Texans defense. And we are live here. We've got Coach in the studio. What is going on, Coach? Welcome to the Big D Show. How are you doing today?
It's great to be here. Feeling like I'm Jameis Winston. I'm all about my Bucks. I got my D-Rex picks in. Got my DraftKings in, my FanDuel lineup in. My Survivor Series pick of the day, folks. I gave you the Patriots last week. Yeah, we went ahead and took the Patriots in week 1.
Get it out of the way.
There was 500,000 people. Now we're down to 238,000. So this week, my FanDuel Survivor pick of the week, take the Rams over the Cardinals. It was a tough slate this week if you looked at the lines and if you look at the games. It's kind of could go either way on a lot of the games. That's why most of the lines are between 3 and 6 points this week if you look at the Vegas lines. So I trusted Vegas this week. I went with my Goombas. The Rams minus 13. I'm playing the percentages at home. The odds of the Cardinals winning on the road this week are slim, narrow to none, so I'm going to stick with the Rams, who blew out the Raiders last week on Monday Night Football. Take the Rams again tonight in their home opener.
And Coach, we called it last week. The Rams, absolutely unstoppable this season coming up. And I told you folks last week, John Gruden was going to struggle on Monday Night Football in front of his former colleagues, and they were going to say, Coach, are you sure you want to come back to coaching football? Are you sure you don't want to be the Corona guy? Tony Romo took your job like that.
I mean,
Instant replacement.
I ain't going to lie. We went to Hooters.
And there was no
John
Gruden.
Gruden was Hooters.
I mean, it's sad.
He's a Tampa guy. Shout out Coach McLaughlin, Carrollwood Day School, started the program. Now he's at Bayshore Christian. Deuce Gruden, Robert Davis, my center, Jared Smith, was one of the original centers there, started 6 years, high school senior, 6-year starter, started in like 7th grade and shit. Stole him from my Pop Warner team. Shout out Smith, dog. And now, Deuce Gruden, we were wondering where he was, Coach, and there he was. The strength and conditioning coach for the Raiders. Set like a world record for powerlifting, so shout out Deuce. And what do you think about the Raiders this week? Are they going to make a comeback against?
They're playing Denver this week, and we'll get there at the end of
Another tough game, was it?
The lines this week, and you were talking about the lines, being between 3 and 6 points, but we're also seeing a lot of half lines as well. You're seeing 2.5, seeing 5.5. So, you could see a team win by 6 and cover the spread, and that's not something that you see too often as far as the linesmen go. So, I mean,
they've been moving depending on where your book is, who you use. You can check out Bovada. We added a new affiliate to DinosaurusRex.com, Bovada. We'll have the link up there later today. That's one of our main Bodog/Bovada. They had to change the name to protect the innocent here in the United States. You know the hierarchies. They want their cut. So they had to do what they had to do to make it legal here in the United States. But remember, the information we give you here is sports information only, not intended to violate any federal, state, or local laws. So D-Rex, Bucks at home versus the Super Bowl champion Eagles.
Well, this is our first pick of Jimmy Knox's picks today. I mean, Coach, we got the information from our Vegas insider here from the Underground Sports Network, and like Coach said here, all of our information is strictly given to us based off of purely sports knowledge here. We're only playing what we have as far as the way that these teams have been playing this season and the players who are hot and how we've seen these teams perform and what we've seen from them all season and their past tendencies. So
the information you need, not that you already
know. We're not these sports goobers on ESPN who keep spewing the same 3 or 4 things. No, we're giving you the guys that you don't know about. We're giving
our
you
action.
I mean, this is my lineup, folks. This is my lineup. You guys stole my money last week playing my lineup, but that's all right.
We're not giving you disinformation.
Knowledge here, So we got to mute that here. We got a little bit of feedback, but that's all right.
Just want to check the feed. Shout out to the live viewers.
We're live here on the Big D Show, and again, getting back to this, Jimmy Knox's picks for this week. Of course, Jimmy Knox 3-1 last week. Of course, the Bears melted down at the end.
That looked like a winner, too.
That was a winner.
That's the intangibles, Coach.
I mean, that's stuff that you can't control sometimes. That guy Aaron Rodgers, I mean, what are you going to do about it?
And hopefully you got in on that first half line like we did, so...
I mean, you cover yourself.
Undocumented. You got to remember, folks, you go with our information, you win. Your own bets are killing you, and your bookmakers got you by the balls. So turn in weekly right here on the Big D Show.
That's right. So getting back to Jimmy Knox's picks, we got Philly versus Tampa. The Bucks are +3 at home. Coach, who do you like? Let's go with your initial thought here. I might look like a homer.
Well, I love my Bucks. I'm all about my Bucks, like I'm Jameis Winston, and I this is like as a gambler and a fan. This is one of those games where you really don't need to. If you're a real homer, true Buck fan, you go a little small, maybe a 1 cannoli, because you're playing the Super Bowl champs, right? So win to win is you're going to be excited. You don't want the big letdown if you lose against the Super Bowl champs and you lose money. That's a double letdown. So if you're going to play homers, I love home dogs. The Bucks are getting 3, maybe 3.5, depending on who your guy is. Buy the half a point if you can. Get it at 3.5. And take the Bucks home dog. No Carson Wentz.
No Carson Wentz. They are going with Nick Foles again this week. Backup versus backup in this matchup.
And when you're talking about backup versus backup, let's be real though. Ryan Fitzpatrick, the highest Wonderlic score in the history of the NFL, Harvard grad. Basically what they're telling you, but they're not going to tell you this, is he's the smartest quarterback to ever play football. Now, I don't give a shit who you got. I want the smartest guy. I'm going to take my chances with the smartest guy on the field. The guy's a winner. And if you saw him last week, he was like Joe Cap out there. Sonny Jurgensen, I heard him referred to. Fran Tarkenton. I mean, he was slinging out there. He was running. He was diving. And how about, to me, the one play that they still didn't really talk about is when he lowered the boom at the goal line.
To get into the end zone.
On the linebacker.
Ran smack through him.
Through him. No sliding, he lowered his shoulder.
Old school football.
I almost thought for a second, Coach, they were going to call offensive targeting.
Targeting.
I thought he lowered the head, bucked him.
I mean, that was old school football right there. He's a 14-year veteran. That's a play he would have made his rookie season. And yeah, I mean, the comparisons to a lot of the older guys, I don't know about all that, but he definitely looked like Ryan Fitzpatrick at his best last week, running the football when necessary, distributing to his targets. I like the Bucks again today also, +3. I actually like them to take the win today at home. Definitely play them plus the points. I like the Fitz magic, man. I'm rolling with it. coming in, guy was a steady force for us last season while Winston was out. Coming in again, guy's stable. He knows the offense. He's got Mike Evans to go to. I mean, that's easy. We got him here in our FanDuel lineup, which we'll get to in a little while. But yeah, Mike Evans, the guy's unguardable. Keep going to him. Run game looked a little bit better last week. The big thing for the Bucs today is the defense going to be improved at all?
I think you saw last week the defense has improved. The line, the pass rush was getting there. They got to the quarterback a couple times.
Is Breeze that good? Is he that good to where he? I'm just asking.
You have to ask.
This is for the fans out there because
Or
I know a lot of
fans.
people. I know
we
a lot.
don't have the dumb fans. Okay, our fans are your more intelligent fans.
I agree. Don't get me wrong, but there's going to be people who come across this who are not as intelligible as my live viewers. Of course, if you don't catch this live and you are watching this on YouTube. On the channel.
I mean, a lot of people
I
are
appreciate
stuck
it.
with the disinformation.
They have a lot. That's what I'm saying. I want to get this out there. Is Drew Brees that big of a difference? Because I know a lot of people looked at the Bucs defense last week, and it's at the absolute bottom of the barrel this week in fantasy drafts and fantasy points. And I'm staying away from the Bucs defense personally. But what do you think? Is Drew Brees that good to where he made the Bucs defense look atrocious compared to what a lot of people thought they were going to be with the upgrades at the defensive line? And, of course, in the secondary as well. There was no Brent Grimes last week for the Bucs in coverage as well, and that hurts against
That was
Michael.
our best corner.
I mean, Michael Thomas set a record last week.
But that's who Grimes would have been on.
I mean, I agree as well. So, what do you think? Does
Do you think the Saints' game plan was to go after Grimes' back?
Oh, 100%.
Right.
They targeted him early and often.
Do you
and
think
Drew
they
Brees.
let anybody out there know this?
No, of course
No,
not. Of
right.
course not.
So if you're not up to speed on what's going on, who's starting, you're reading the wrong newspapers, watching the wrong TV shows, you're getting the disinformation out there, and you probably thought it was going to be 40-7 Saints. And yeah, the Saints put up 40, but guess what? You weren't ready for Fitz magic.
I mean, we told you here it was going to be high scoring. I predicted it. The Bucs, they rode you right to a DraftKings win last week if you took the picks I gave you. So I'm going with it again. I don't think it's going to be nearly as high scoring, but I think the Bucs offense is going to have to be big in this one. I don't think the defense is going to be as good. I think they are going to step up to the task a little bit as far as the defensive line applying pressure to a guy, Nick Foles, who is definitely not the decision maker that Drew Brees is. He actually, reminds me a lot of a Ryan Fitzpatrick, a guy who is kind of a backup, but when needed is that starting option that's steady and stable.
What's
can
his
take
wonder
you to a
lick score?
performance. I'm not sure. I don't know.
It's not like Ryan Fitzpatrick, I guarantee it.
Well, like I said, a guy who's been in the league for a while. I think he's an 8-9 year veteran now. Played on a lot of the same teams as Fitzpatrick, actually. So I think this is going to be a good performance of the defending Super Bowl champions. Is their defense going to hold up with losing a couple of their guys to the Bucs this offseason, actually? Are they going to be able to stop the Bucs offense? And does the Bucs defense step up to the task against them in this one? It's yet to be seen. But I do like the Bucs +3 today. That's Jimmy Knox's official pick as well. Coach likes the Bucs +3 today.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Bucs +3. I'm going to go small, 1 cannoli, 1.5 cannoli play.
Mine's a 2 cannoli play. Out
I
of
like
5.
him as a home dog. Buy it up to 3.5 if you can buy up the points, and go Bucs on that one. I'll be rooting more as a homer, and it's nice to have little action because NA, no action is no fun.
Yeah, I mean, especially in today's NFL world, if you don't have red zone or one of the other options, you're stuck watching your home team. So you got
You
to
can go to DomSourceRex.com right now.
right now
Scroll down,
scroll
click on the FanDuel,
FanDuel.
get in a free lineup, Crypto Cup Dash right now. You can get in the free.
This is my lineup
weekly
for that
picks. If you
exact.
make your weekly selections. Let's go ahead and get those up right here.
We'll go ahead and do that
All
as
right.
well.
You got your
We'll-
weekly pick.
we want to make sure we get through.
contest
We got to get through Jimmy Knox's picks here. We got 2 more
and your
plays.
survivor pool.
We got 2 more plays here on Jimmy Knox's picks.
Let's
Then
knock
we're going
them
to
out.
get through the rest of our plays as well. We got our FanDuel plays. We got to get another song break in as well. We got my dude Money Man. We got a lot to get to here in a little bit of time. We're probably going to hit some overtime here as well, but we can do that live on Twitch TV, and we don't hear shit about it.
Yeah, we ain't got to worry about it. No
Not
more.
a thing.
We're direct. We cut out the cancer, cut out the middleman. Now you're live direct right here in the NegDog.com studios. Video, radio, internet. Soon we'll have the studio line set up here. You'll be able to call in, give us your opinions, hit us up in the chat room here, follow us on Twitch TV. Shout out to our sponsors, our affiliates, Greenhawk Studios, FanDuel, HorseRacingPark.com, DraftKings. We got more big news than
InfidelBodyArmor.com.
Infidel Body Armor, All American Clothing, Black Titanium.
Yeah, just all the sponsors. Shout out to everybody. Thanks to Coach for being on today's show as well. Let's get back to it. Our official Vegas insider, Jimmy Knox. He likes the Bucks +3 today. And then we've got our second game of the day before we get to Jimmy Knox's pick. Let's get our breakdown. Green Bay at Minnesota. Who do you like in that one, Coach?
That's a tough one there. Green Bay, what a comeback. Aaron Rodgers magic. I mean, the dude went in, got shot up, was high as a kite, throwing, gunslinging, could barely talk in the interview. I don't know if y'all saw that. The post-game interview was hilarious. And can he do it, though, coming off fresh at home? Minnesota was one play away from going to the Super Bowl last year. They looked great in week 1. And, you know, being a Seminole, one of the biggest blown picks last year. I mean, I like OJ, but I wish we had Dalvin Cook. Imagine if the Bucks had Dalvin Cook right now.
They'd definitely be a lot more explosive. As much as I liked Peyton Barber last week, and I continue to like Peyton Barber, and I've been saying he should have been the starter for a couple
That's
seasons
the
now.
homer in me coming out.
I know, I agree 100%. Dalvin Cook is an amazing player, and you just hope as a Bucks fan that O.J. Howard can turn into a Gronk-type receiver, but I don't see that progressing, and Dalvin Cook already last week looked explosive again coming off an ACL tear. So
I think this confirms that, shows you how tough this week's slate is.
It's tough. These, like I said, these are Jimmy Knox's game. These are his picks, okay, and these are tough sledding.
2-1 on the season.
He's 2-1 or 3-1 last week.
3-1 on the
Yes,
season.
3-1. Only loss was the
Got you,
Lions
man.
against the Jets last week. So, getting back to Green Bay versus Minnesota, I personally like Green Bay today as much as I do like Minnesota. In these high pressure, high tension NFC North battles, if you haven't had the experience in these environments, it's a tough situation to come in and win. As we saw last week, Mitch Trubisky had the opportunity to take the Bears down the field and win in spite of everything that Aaron Rodgers was able to do. And he was not able to come up with the performance to bring the Bears to victory. I see a similar situation today in what is a 2.5-point spread. I see Kirk Cousins with an opportunity to possibly win the game, or Aaron Rodgers having to win the game for his team, and it coming down to that sort of situation. Look for Aaron Rodgers and the Packers to take home the victory and cover the spread, and that's Jimmy Knox's official pick as well. The Pack, +2.5 at
Minus.
no, they're +2.5.
They're at home, I thought.
No, they're at Minnesota.
Oh, okay.
They're +2.5 at Minnesota.
Okay.
So Jimmy Knox does like them to cover the spread. I don't know what his official pick is as far as the winner there, but Jimmy Knox likes them to cover the spread. I like Aaron Rodgers to come out and win. Like I said, if put in that position, I don't think Kirk Cousins can take home the victory today. That guy Aaron Rodgers, man, it doesn't matter who's on his team. It doesn't matter what's happened to him personally. If he is in the game and he's able to play, he's taking that team to a victory. Discount double check for the win today. And the final game of Jimmy Knox's selections, Miami versus New York. The Jets are at home. They are -3. Who do you like today, Coach? The Jets. Oh,
At
Green Bay is at home. So they are at home. Excuse me.
-3.
They're minus.
I'm telling you, I know right now.
Check it real quick. Let's pull it up.
Go
Just so
ahead.
I have
You
my.
gotta check on
You gotta
here.
just click there, right there. Just
It's not
click
gonna
right
give
there.
you the spread.
Yeah, well, the
From
game guess.
ESPN.
It does. I promise
Okay.
you.
We're going here. But
Yeah, they're at home +2.5. So that was why Jimmy Knox does like the Pack today.
Yes, folks.
That's
My
why Jimmy
dad
Knox
here,
does like
he
the
did
pack today
verify.
because they are at home plus 2.5. Or excuse me, yeah, plus 2.5. They are
Plus
the underdog today.
115.
So
Take them straight up.
it's that slim of a margin.
That's
Slim
why
of
I
a
said
margin.
this is one of the toughest slates for week 2 that I've seen
In a long
years.
time. This is gonna be one of those proving ground weeks where teams are really gonna say, "Hey, I'm a contender," or I'm one of these teams that's gonna fall into the middle of the pack
This goes to where Pete Rozell's dream of having this many teams
that are good.
Yes, on
Yes.
any given Sunday.
That's why they put the salary cap in. That's why it's in place. I mean, in
Anybody seen
reality,
any given Sunday yet this season? Is it aired yet? I forgot it's football season. Go get Any Given Sunday on Amazon Prime right now, folks.
alrighty, and thanks to everybody in the viewing room as well. If you're in the room, be sure to hit the chat and say what's up, where you're from, who you got today. Are our picks winners? Let us know. And finally, like I said, Miami versus the Jets. The Jets are at home, -3. Jimmy Knox is playing the Jets. I like the Jets today as well at home. I think Tannehill having to go on the road in another divisional battle. And I think that's why we're seeing a lot of these games are going to be tough sledding today, Coach, is because they're all divisional matchups from what I can see here. Besides Philadelphia and Tampa, Green Bay and Minnesota is a divisional game. Miami and the Jets is a divisional game. Carolina and Atlanta is a divisional game. Arizona and the Rams is a divisional game. The Giants and Dallas, divisional game. Houston, Tennessee, divisional game.
Great games this week.
Oakland and Denver, divisional game. So this is why a lot of these games are going to be tough sledding because these teams are built to beat each other because that is how the NFL season is scheduled. These teams play each other the most, so they have to beat the teams within their division in order to make the playoffs.
You know what I'm so glad? And I don't know if you noticed this week, social media and going into week 1, all you heard about were the kneelers and Nike and Cat. You didn't hear that shit.
Nothing about it this whole
Thank
week.
you.
The whole week.
I'm a Fila guy myself, but they don't make football gear. So Coach, if you want to win,
Put Booby
put
in.
Booby in. I'm sorry, I got to be in that Nike.
Everyone
gear.
forgets that Reebok had the
old
the
Ron
NFL
Reebok contract.
NFL sponsorship for the longest though.
I mean, I gotta say one thing: Bucks, Eagles. It is hot out there today. We're live here from Tampa.
It's
in
hot.
District 4. It's still summertime down here, folks. It is hot.
Gonna be 100 on the
Anything
field.
Gonna be playing to the Bucks' advantage. It is the home field warm temperature.
It's gonna be 100 on the field, and the Bucks fever is out right now, folks. If the Bucks are winning, there's fans there, and they won last week. It's exciting.
Oh yeah,
the Bucks
I got a
fans are
call
gonna
from
be
the
in.
Jack boys are at the stadium tailgating early. It's live. It is live.
All right, so let's wrap up this segment here. Dolphins and Jets. Jimmy Knox got the Jets -3 at home. I like the Jets. Sam Darnold really proved himself to me last week after throwing a pick 6 on his first pass. Settled in, really looked to be comfortable. A lot of teams and GMs around the league and these player development personnel guys said that he would be the quarterback who was most ready to play week 1, and he looked like it.
Yeah, he looked nice.
I mean, he looked poised. The Jets' defense was never a concern. They had a lot of young guys last season, but Coach Todd Bowles, of course, the former DC from Arizona, when that defense was really stingy, his defense was playing tough and playing hard
Did you see the
all
Jets
last season.
team? It was like no fly zone out there.
They shut down a
Shout
team
out to
in
my
the.
boy Jamal Allen, LSU. Shout out Go Tigers last night. Big win.
Big
versus
win.
Auburn.
Big win.
So I see you, Jamal. If you're too bad we can't pick corners. We got the Jets defense, coach.
I don't today, but the Jets'
That's a
defense
good
is possibly a
quality
nice
play.
play.
Good quality play there. Their defense is set up to make big plays. They're going for the picks, 6s. They're going for stripping the ball, looking to scoop and score. They're looking to score on defense.
And they could, that could burn them occasionally, but they're also going to make their fair share of splash plays. So if you're looking for a quality defense in that mid-level range, the Jets is definitely a good pick, especially at home. Miami having to go on the road for the first time since Tannehill's been back. Look for them to get tested. Kenyon Drake was definitely a good player last week against Tennessee. They look strong. Tannehill looked good. Tennessee's not quite the team that the Jets are to me, though. I thought the Jets and everybody else thought the Jets were going to be bad this season, but Sam Darnold he made me put my foot in my mouth immediately. So I look for him to continue that way and continue the trend. Jimmy Knox, -3. What do you think? Do they cover the spread? I like them to win today. Do they cover the spread, though?
3 points straight up. If you're gonna win, the 1-2 point wins, they don't happen too much in the NFL. So buy it down to 2.5 if you can, and go for it.
Yeah, I like the Jets actually by a touchdown today.
And for those of you watching, the camera is not zooming in and out. I'm in a rocking chair. I just noticed this. So
Alrighty, so
I'll try to stay still.
those are our plays of the day. You're probably giving people motion sickness over there,
Yes, I
Coach.
noticed. I was giving myself motion sickness watching the video prompter.
Alrighty, so we're gonna give you a quick musical
Take
break
a
here.
Beverage break. We'll be
That-
right back.
Those were Jimmy Knox's plays of the day. Tampa Bay +3, the Pack +2.5, and then the Jets -3. We got my dog Money Man here with another musical break. We'll be right back here on the Big D Show with our FanDuel plays of the day.
Motherfucking red. You've been trying, man. I know you've been trying, dog. Trying to get this shit right, man. I already know, dog. I know you've been trying. Just want to maintain the cope, man. Yeah, just keep your head up, stay focused, dog. You know what I'm saying? You gonna get right. I've been trying hard, trying to get it right. Trying to get it money. I had to sacrifice. Struggle. All I knew was hustle. I had to get it right. Why should I have to suffer? I've been trying hard, trying to get it right. Trying to get it money. I had to sacrifice. Struggle. All I knew was hustle. I had to get it right. Why should I have to suffer? Why should I have to suffer? Suffer so much pain. Nothing to lose. But I got a lot to gain. I got a lot to gain. Storm. I've been through a storm. Storm and rain. Trying to make it through the day. I gotta maintain. Like I said, every time I turn around, I see back look. This shit ain't no more. Man, it ain't no love. Niggas just play the game when it comes to beating loyal. They just sit there, but ain't there for you. Yeah, it's a dirty game. Don't get the game twisted. These niggas ain't real no more. Yeah, they claim it really. Yeah, it's a dirty game. Don't get the game twisted. These niggas ain't real no more. Yeah, they claim it really. I've been trying hard, trying to get it right. Trying to get it money. I had to sacrifice. Struggle. All I knew was hustle. I had to get it right. Why should I have to suffer? I've been trying hard, trying to get it right. Trying to get it money. I had to sacrifice. Struggle. All I knew was hustle. I had to get it right. Why should I have to suffer? Let me ride. Ride with a pussy, nigga. You a fuck boy, nigga. And I don't fuck with you. I only run with real niggas who real associate gangsters. You ain't real pussy, nigga. You can't hang with us. I'm with your realest niggas. Yeah, we dangerous. From that murder state, we call it FLA. Florida, real nigga. I'm state. BOLK. Business where I lay. I'm from Canada. You better understand where you at. We all about that shit. Nigga, whatever for that shit. No game, nigga. So respect my mind. I'm telling you this how this shit is. Real life is going down. No game, nigga. Ain't no game. So respect my mind. I'm telling you this real life. That's just how this shit go down. I've been trying hard, trying to get it right. Trying to get it money. I had to sacrifice. Struggle. All I knew was hustle. I had to get it right. Why should I have to suffer? I've been trying hard, trying to get it right. Trying to get it money. I had to sacrifice.
All right. That was my dog Money Man. I got my boy El Franco here. One more song during this musical break before we get back to our FanDuel plays of the day. This is the Big D Show. El Franco, I mean, off his album So Hot, available everywhere right now.
That's El Franco, the cocaine, man. Tryna know what's going on, but the little heart got the I'm tryna know what we laying. I'm tryna catch you say shit, but you fell for the plate and pick up phone today. But maybe the day still thought about me, that love, they'll still fuck about me. That's what it take. I'm a champion, big nigga, soon heavyweight. Nigga, just love your home, shot me in them plumb. You don't see how I do, she getting me. Come here, retired, blessed, feet high with the best. B-A-D, on that pussy, feet on that pussy. Yeah, there's a question inside it. Do you get it at me? Do you get it at me? You know what I mean? I know I be playing, but to repeat, I mean, that nigga worse than me on my feeling. You're twisting me, I'm a hundred. That nigga worse than me. Only down, that's up. She from drugs, that's so slim in the pixie. So on that shit, feel like China. Fucking it coolin'. You know what I mean? That nigga born home, slay me. Piss him, slap like me, being wet. Nigga like, piss on the other, piss him off. Kiss him out, they kiss him out. Yeah, we ain't shit, we ain't shit. Know what I'm saying? Yeah. Guapo. There's a question inside it. Do you get it at me? Do you get it at me? You know what I mean? I know I be playing, but watch it repeat. I mean, that nigga worse than me on my feeling. You're twisting me, I'm a hundred. That nigga worse than me.
Alright. That was my dog El Franco with his track I Mean off his album So High. We are back live. It's your boy Domosaurus Rex, aka Big D. This is the Big D Show live here on Twitch TV. Or if you are watching after the fact here on YouTube, I appreciate you. Be sure to subscribe, like, join that notification squad, all of the above. Go to DomosaurusRex.com. Support all of our sponsors, Greenhawk Studios, FanDuel, who you see right here, who we're about to get into our plays of the day for them. We already went through our DraftKings plays of the day, so be sure to go back and check those out. And then, of course, NegDog.com, InfidelBodyArmor.com, and a plethora of other great sponsors you can find at DomosaurusRex.com. So getting back to it, I got my boy Coach here with me today. What up, Coach?
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the show. We are live from the NegDog.com studios, bringing you the best in fantasy football plays, the best in our picks across the board in your Vegas lines. And coming up, there are FanDuel plays of the day. You can go to DomosaurusRex.com, scroll down to the bottom, you'll see our partner section. Anytime you click on one of those and sign up through our affiliates, you support our operation because we are independently owned and operated by us right here, Big D and NegDog and Big D Show.
PayPal.me/DNeglio, NEGLIO. PayPal.me/DNeglio if you want to donate direct.
Now I put that on there. You can go to DomosaurusRex.com on the home page, scroll down, you'll see the PayPal there. Boom, it goes direct right to my boys right here.
And you're subscribing, you're helping.
Everybody's loving the
Follow,
new website.
like,
We're working
share.
on it every day, folks. There's a new member section. There's nothing there yet, but we're going to have a special.
You can donate here on Twitch.
Yeah, right here, folks.
So that's why we're going live and direct to you, because we are tired of our efforts from our fans not generating the type of support from our sponsors and people that were taking care of our production and everything before. So we said, fuck it, we're better than them anyways.
Yeah, we don't need you. We don't need them skinned.
So
Go direct.
thanks to everybody here checking us out. That's why we're back doing bigger and better things here on Season 1, Episode 2 here on the Big D Show live on Twitch TV. So you got Jimmy Knox's plays of the day.
Ike. What up, Ike?
What's happening, Cowboys Nation?
Cowboy Nation.
You already heard 808 Ike, his song. How about them Cowboys to open up the show today? Shout
What
out
happened
to
to
you.
the Cowboys in week 1?
They didn't run the ball enough. You gotta put the
Run the ball. Zeke Elliott.
They tried to put the ball in Dak Prescott's hands too much, and he's, I was high on Dak Prescott for last week as well. He was one of my fantasy plays because I thought he would have a good day off the play action. He's definitely missing Des Bryant from the looks of it. Allen Hurns did not fill the role like I thought he would, although he had a decent game. Look for the Cowboys to bounce back today against a defense that isn't as good. We'll get to those picks a little bit later.
It's a sophomore season, right?
Dak?
Yeah.
No, it's his third season.
Third year.
So this is the year you really want to see the development and whether or not he's going to be your starting quarterback for the upcoming and foreseeable future.
I mean, as a defensive coordinator, you knew stop Dak Prescott is your game plan after the last 2 years. So stop Dak Prescott. They didn't put the ball in Zeke Elliott's hands. They didn't play game plan perfectly. So
Yeah, I mean, if you stop Zeke Elliott and put the ball in Dak Prescott's hands to try and beat you, more than likely you're going to have a decent game. I think the Cowboys really have to commit to running the football. Zeke's going to have to touch the ball 20, 30 times. They might have to get it to him in the open field, maybe try and get it to him on the swing routes and such. We'll get to that moving forward, though. Shout out to my boy Ike Royal, of course. He wanted to hear a little bit about his Cowboys. What do we got here? Bro, listen, we're going to win this game. Defense need to step up. Wide receivers need to step up, too. I agree. Absolutely right.
who are the Cowboys playing?
They're playing the Giants, actually, at 4. So
If this is a game to win, but is this the game where the G-men go in and pull off the upset? Because everybody's wrote off the G-men as one of the worst teams in the NFL right now.
they didn't look too bad last week. I mean,
That's what I said.
offense actually bounced back pretty well. We'll get there. We're going to give out the rest of our plays for the week as well. We already gave you Jimmy Knox's picks live from Vegas, the Underground Sports Network, Tampa Bay, Green Bay, and the Jets. But let's get to our FanDuel plays of the day before everybody gets too pissed off at me. I gave you your DraftKings picks. They're saying the lineups are closing, Big D. We got to get our plays in. They've been sitting here the whole time, folks. You could have just looked. Anyways, quarterback today. I like Phillip Rivers from the Chargers. They're going to get the ball early and often. And like I told you earlier during the DraftKings picks, I like any of the Chargers' weapons today. Like I said, they're going to get the ball a lot. The Bills' offense is atrocious. Even though the Chargers' defense isn't too great, they're going to get it continuously because of the Bills' just horrendous struggles on the offensive side of the ball. Ike's probably going to be a little bit mad about that because, he is representing that Rochester, Buffalo area. But I got to tell you, them Bills are going down today. Phillip Rivers putting up big numbers, spreading the ball around to a lot of different guys. One of those guys, like I told you earlier, Melvin Gordon, going to be a threat on the ground and through the air. Look for him to have a huge game. We talked about James Conner already, also in the DraftKings picks. The guy's an absolute beast. Took over for the Le'Veon Bell missing player role. Stepped in beautifully in front of a fan base that he's played in front of for 6 years now, including his NFL career. He went 4 at Pittsburgh, 2 years now in the NFL. He knows the system. He had a big game last week. Look for that to continue.
Ike, how's the sound on your end, by the way? It's only our second show working in the new green room here in the NegDog.com studios. I hope you like all the special effects, multi-camera angles, green screening. Get to show you our live picks here. We're going to have a lot of new stuff coming here from the Neg Dog studios, so shout out for Big D for getting the show going today. We're going to overtime. We might as well. It's pregame. What else are you watching? That lame ESPN shit?
If I hear Joe Buck and Troy
Oh, my
Aikman
God.
one more time, I'm
sorry,
going to lose
Ike.
my shit.
Joe Buck and Troy Aikman. I swear, Big D, by the time we done ate wings, ribs, barbecue, by the 4...
Sleeping.
I'm asleep with
Joe Buck and Troy Aikman are the worst announcing pair. If anybody says
Collinsworth is way better.
If anybody says that they don't like Collinsworth
You
and
don't
Al
smoke
Michaels, I'm sorry, it doesn't matter what you do. Collinsworth and Al Michaels are way better than Buck and Troy Aikman. Joe Buck and Troy Aikman are the kind to hold hands at the urinal next to each other. That's all
Remember
I'm
my
saying.
meme? I don't think they should start with.
That's Joe Buck. If you've seen Neg Dog's meme, that's Joe Buck.
I took Fitzpatrick again today, folks. I'm riding the Fitz magic. I stacked Fitzpatrick with Evans. Jackson's a little banged up, so I went with, he's a cheaper play. Godwin has been playing good.
I do
think
like
he's
that.
going to be, Jackson went over the top last week. I think they're going to try to prevent the over the tops and look for the lost man Godwin to match up good against the number 3 DB against the Eagles.
And here's another thing with that too, Coach, is Godwin is a threat to go over the top as well. We saw him last week.
Yeah.
They had about a 30-yard touchdown grab on a very nice catch over the top of his defender. So Godwin, I do like that play a lot. And like you were saying with Fitz Magic, I got Mike Evans again. That guy is just absolutely unstoppable. We told you about him earlier in the DraftKings lineups. Mike Evans, another big day today. Doesn't matter who's on him, he's gonna get his stuff.
Yeah, and who's to get backs?
My
Yeah,
two backs, I
Gordon.
got Gordon and Connor.
I took Kamara. Look for him to shred again today.
Another big day.
And Barber actually was my. You can take up to 4 per one team, so the value play right there, Coach, like you said.
We said earlier.
Barber and Godwin teamed up with Evans and Fitzmagic. I mean, you don't want to. You want to ride a trend, folks. You don't want to be on the back end of a trend. You want to be there when it starts. So, what makes you think that the Bucks aren't going to do it again today? I believe it. I saw it. Dirk Cutter is now. This is his team. Okay, the guys that were here before him,
They're gone.
they're gone. This is his team, and it looks good.
They definitely had a strong week 1, and Jimmy Knox likes it to continue as well.
Competition breeds success. Everybody's saying about the Jameis and Fitzpatrick. This dude just sits back and throws the ball and wins. So, and I love the fact that we know we got Jameis coming back in week 4. So what's that going to do to put Fitzpatrick if he wants to stay in?
It's his time.
It's his time.
If he continues to win, I don't think they take him out.
Who's
so.
the FanDuel spokes ambassador?
Ryan
I know
Fitzpatrick.
Y'all seen him on there. What a great commercial.
Shout out to FanDuel.
Yeah, go to DinosaurusRex.com, scroll down to the bottom, click on FanDuel, sign up and get a free entry into the picks of the week. You missed the Survivor Series, but you can get the free play for today. You see it right here.
This is the free play.
Yes.
This is it.
Thousands of dollars, all for free. Sign up now. Shout out my boy Sal. What's going on, Sal?
Yeah, Sal, we completely agree with you. Collinsworth is 100 times better than Joe Buck and Troy Aikman. So
Now, we do have some inside, I'm not going to educate our fans here. We got some Blue Chipper University goes back on a deeper level with Collinsworth, though, because my boy Daryl Jackson was set to break the record at UF for Collinsworth receiving record, and Spurrier took him out at halftime before he could break the record. So, just a little
two great players.
underground sports network information.
Two great players, that one's a little bit, that's a tough situation there. Two great players. I like Collinsworth either way. I can't hate on him. So
I still like him way better than Joe Buck and Troy Aikman.
100%. And we'll get back to the announcer. I see here some of my Vegas guys and some of my picks players on Twitter are definitely getting at me to finish this FanDuel thing here. So we'll get back. I actually want to talk about some more announcers after this anyways and kind of compare and see what some of you people in the chat room think. Jarvis Landry, we took Tyrod Taylor as our quarterback in the DraftKings play. I like Jarvis Landry today. Of course, their biggest addition in the offseason from Miami. They gave him a huge deal. You saw him all through Hard Knocks. He's the heart and soul of this team from the looks of it. He carried them to a draw. Look for Tyrod Taylor to have a big day, as well as Jarvis Landry, who's going to be his number 1 target. I think Landry finally gets into the end zone this week. Robbie Anderson, we talked about him earlier, going to be the deep threat for the Jets against the Dolphins. Look for him to go over the top one more time from Sam Darnold today. Eric Ebron. Looked like the Lions were definitely missing Eric Ebron last week. Definitely didn't have that tight end outlet that Stafford was used to, and it definitely benefited Andrew Luck last week. 6 catches, I think 57 or 67 yards for Eric Ebron at a pretty decent price here for a guy who's going to get a lot of attention and a lot of looks against the Washington defense, who isn't necessarily set up to stop the tight end. Their linebackers aren't great in pass coverage. Safeties aren't really going to be able to cover a guy like Ebron, who's absolutely massive. If he can catch and hold on to the ball, he should see plenty of targets. Look for him to get a red zone touchdown today. My flex position, I took the guy, Cooper Kupp. Look for the Rams to have another big game. I like Jared Goff in the passing attack. Cooper Kupp, kind of the forgotten guy in that Rams passing attack. Look for him to get a steady amount of targets today. Look for him to get 6 or 7 catches, maybe 70, 80 yards, hopefully a touchdown, and a big value play at the flex position. Only 6,300, so definitely a guy you can either mix into your wide receiver core or play at that flex spot. And finally, again, we've talked about it all show, the Chargers against Buffalo. Chargers defense, not the greatest, but against a team like Buffalo, they're going to hold them to low-scoring points. They're going to look for mistakes, and they're going to try and make an effort on special teams in order to break the game open. This is that game where the Chargers defense looks its best all season. I look for them to like I said, steamroll the Bills. So those are our FanDuel plays of the day. Go to DomosaurusRex.com right now and be sure to click on the links for both FanDuel and DraftKings. Go there. I was wondering why we were lagging a little bit.
My bad.
It's all good. I was clicking out of something myself at the same time, so I appreciate everybody for bearing with us there.
Tony Romo.
So
is
yeah,
the new Corona.
I was gonna say Tony Romo is my favorite announcer in the NFL as of right now at this point, besides Gus Johnson, who I think is the best announcer overall between basketball, football, and college football, whatever it is in the game right now. Gus Johnson is my favorite. Absolutely makes everything exciting. But I do love Tony Romo. What do you think about Tony Romo? I think he stepped into this new role.
How do you not love Tony Romo?
Absolutely seamlessly
Fucking
transitioned
Tony
into the
Romo.
box. He took over John Gruden's job as the Corona sponsor.
He
this is
reminds me,
all
I can't
over.
remember who I kept saying he sounds like, but he reminds me of somebody. I'll bring it up next week on the show. I'll remember.
I'm trying to think because I distinctly remember you saying this. Wasn't it the Gary Danielson, the quarterback?
Maybe, yeah.
I think so. Another CBS guy. He does a lot of college football. I think was what the comparison was. But yeah, very knowledgeable about the game. Kind of breaks everything down for you. And I definitely like Romo. Who else do you guys like out there? Who's your favorite announcer, Coach?
My favorite announcer right now, that's a tough one, man. I don't have a favorite right now. Nobody really stands out to me right now. I gotta be honest with you.
Can you name one that you're like, all right, I like him?
I mean, I like Collinsworth.
Collinsworth,
He
all
makes
right.
me laugh, but that's just me.
He sounds
I like-
like he hit a fresh
I like
dude in between
Danielson.
every play.
I like Romo.
I like Danielson also.
I like Al Michaels to an extent.
What do you think about Rondé Barber?
Gotta love Rondé, man. I mean,
Do you like the guy that he gets paired with, though?
he's not too bad. This play-by-play guy, I can't think of his name offhand. I mean, if there wasn't a delay, I'd much rather listen to Dave Moore and Gene Deckerhoff.
I mean, how do you go
All
wrong
day
with
long.
Deckerhoff?
So we love Gene Deckerhoff. He's the best in the business.
Shout out Rondé, though. I am a Rondé fan. We got a
Yes.
signature here on the jersey. I'm rocking the throwback today because the Bears are playing on Monday
Were
night.
you at his press conference?
I
when he
was in his
retired?
press con. No, not when he retired.
Yeah, when they won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, when he won the Super Bowl, and then also in Orlando, the only year that the Bucks did training camp in Orlando, we were live and direct thanks to Rondé and Reeves Import Motor Cars. Shout out my boy Uncle Bud with the super hookup. Took us to the training camp that season. We had passes to every park. We could hop around to whatever one we wanted to during the day. Bucks training camp in the mornings. We got to go see behind the scenes. We were there with my dog Rondé Barber. No matter where it was in Bucks training camp, we were there. VIP access. Fuck work done. And shout out to Rondé once again. And let's
He's
get
a little
into.
salty because Ward wouldn't sign his.
So if anybody ever wonders why I don't like Warwick Dunn, I was about 7 or 8 years old. I had my team helmet. I was getting the mass collection of all the players. And Warwick Dunn, he always says, all the great charity work and how nice of a guy he is. That Warwick Dunn is a dick.
Don't remember this probably.
Wouldn't come in. He wouldn't sign my Bucks helmet, which had damn near every player's signature except maybe like a couple of the
Lynch
backups.
jersey.
Because I had a John Lynch jersey on. He said, Dunn jerseys only, and walked off. I was about 7 years old. I was heartbroken. Only player on the team I didn't have. So
And he had a Dunn Seminole jersey.
I had multiple Warwick
Yeah.
Dunn jerseys. I just didn't happen to wear his that day. So
Needless to say, he never got another one.
if you ever see this Warwick Dunn, that's why I'm salt.
That's why we call him Warwick.
Warwick. Alright, so let's move on. Week 2 plays and selections. We did great last week. I think we only missed 3 games. The Bears, the Lions, and the Pittsburgh Steelers were the only 3 I missed last week. So let's move on. Let's get this.
Get it on FanDuel too and get it in.
Oh yeah, we got to get it in. So we might as well do it while we're doing it.
There's
Lobby.
your Digital Dash Cup free entry if you go to FanDuel now and sign up. DomSourceRex.com. Scroll down.
So where do I do it at? How to where? Let's
Go up to the top.
going up to the top. Gridiron Pick'em.
Yes, sir.
Play for free. There it is.
Look at that.
I acted like.
We don't make this shit up.
I mean, that's how you
Where
do it
are
right
you?
there. All right, so we got the Chiefs in Pittsburgh. Who do you like, Coach?
I'm liking the Steelers back at home.
I think-
know the Chiefs get upset.
I like KC. I think that offense is explosive.
You got multiple scenarios there, so
Tough game though.
Tough
We had, like I said,
game.
it's a
It's a
tough
tough
sled all week. Houston
So-
and Tennessee. Who do you got?
I took the home team there.
I got Houston. I think Tennessee is hurting without Delaney Walker, who was lost for the season last week. I look for them
So right
to
there,
kind
I
of.
think we're opposites already.
I look for them to kind of find themselves in a struggle while they're trying to find their rhythm back on offense without them. Los Angeles and Buffalo. Everybody knows my opinion there. I've been taking the Chargers the entire time.
Chargers too.
Panthers and the
Shout out to
Falcons.
my boy Ray McLeod though.
Who do you got? Panthers.
Rookie.
Panthers. Falcons.
Panthers.
I took the Panthers as well. I'm taking straight road teams right now.
Cam Newton
Oh, whoops! I did not want to take the Browns. I'm taking the Saints at home against the Browns. Who do you like?
there. I like the Saints, even though the Browns played well. Look for the Saints to rebound.
Saints are so explosive.
Yeah.
So explosive. Look for Michael Thomas to have another big game today. The Bucks against Philly. I took the
Tough
Bucks.
game again.
Who do you like, Coach?
I gotta go with my Bucks. I'm
Alrighty.
all about them.
Colts at the Redskins. I've got the Redskins at home. I like Alex Smith, the steady force. Chris Thompson out of the backfield, one of my sleeper plays today. Who do you got?
I took the Redskins. Colts not looking impressive at all for sure yet.
Although Luck was definitely a big improvement from the quarterback play that they got last year, so he's definitely back. Jets, Dolphins. I got the Jets thanks to Jimmy Knox. Who do you got,
Hey, my
Coach?
pick of the week last week, remember my Dolphins pick was an upset special. I told you with Tannehill back, it looked like a different team. But I got to go with my defensive-minded coaches and staff and players. Shout out to my boy Jamboy Jamal from LSU. And I'm going with the Jets. Jets.
Alrighty. Vikings in the Pack. I like the Pack at home. So does Jimmy Knox. Who do you like?
I'm going to go with the Vikings. Just to go with the Vikings. I think,
They're tough.
Yeah, it's a tough.
They're tough.
This is a great game right there, folks. That's NFC North division, original rivalries, Lambeau Field. That's football right there, folks.
Alrighty.
None of this foofy millennial shit.
Definitely not. That's going to be
Yeah.
a tough game. Cardinals and Rams. I like the Rams in this one. Coach, who do you got?
I went with the Rams.
Yeah, they're too much for the
That's
Cards.
my survivor pick of the week, too. I'm still alive. 238,000 people left. We'll see who's left after next week. Over half people got knocked out.
My biggest concern with the Cardinals is how long until Josh Rosen actually becomes and takes over the starting role. I don't know how long Sam Bradford's going to hold on to it. The Lions and the 49ers. I got the 49ers at home. Who do you like, Coach?
I'm going to go with Jimmy G at home, too. The Lions looked absolutely pathetic. Our family's from Michigan. The memes that I saw last week were hilarious. Shout out Cousin Dylan. True Lions fan.
True Lions fan through and through. He will roast his own team.
Jeez.
I like the 49ers to bounce back, too. They were on the road last week. They're at home this week. Jimmy G, look for him and Pierre Garçon, one of our value plays, to hook up a couple of times against the Lions defense, who's still looking to put it together under new coach Matt Patricia. That system takes a while to piece together, and the Lions definitely don't have the pieces yet.
Yeah, definitely don't look meshing right now.
Yeah. Raiders and the Broncos. Who you got today, Coach?
This is a tough one. Like I said, another tough game. The Raiders, I think they were a lot of hype. And have you ever been to Colorado? The home field advantage in Denver is for real. Mile High City. So I'm going to go with, when it comes close, I'm old school. The philosophy is I'm going to stick with the home team. So I'm going to go with the homers. I'm going with Denver at home.
Coach sticking with the Broncos at home. I think the Raiders in this divisional matchup, I think Coach Gruden bounces back with that Raiders offense as well. That's a lot to learn in that first week. I think they've got a game under their belt now. They're not on Monday Night Football. They don't have to go with all that scrutiny and, is Gruden, should he go back to the booth, da-da-da. No, they lost last week. They came back focused. I think this week they come and get it done. The Broncos, Case Keenum looked pretty good last week. Can he continue that? Yet to be seen. I haven't seen him do it for a full season yet. So, that's just how it happens sometimes, unfortunately, with the Twitch sharing.
It might be my cash.
So, Yeah, shout out to Twitch again for that. It's just they need to fix that system sometimes. So Denver and the Raiders, like I said, I like Oakland to bounce back this week. Look for Derek Carr to put it together. Marshawn Lynch with an end zone touchdown. I don't think Case Keenum holds it together for the Broncos today, and a bounce back game for the Raiders. So let me go ahead and pick them now. We got New England at Jacksonville in what could be a possible AFC Championship matchup. What do you think about this one, Coach?
I took Gronk as my tight end in my FanDuel lineup. I had him last week. That's why I finished first in my bracket in the pool, winning. And I'm back again with Gronk this week. I mean, I'm just gonna ride. I mean, I've been riding him for years, folks, and that's why we've been winning. I'm not one to sit there and try to be the anti. Nah, I'm gonna go with Brady. I'm gonna go with Gronk. I'm going to go with Belichick. Take the Patriots today. I can't take them in my survivor because guess who had them last week and won? That's why 230,000 people they tried to be Jimmy the Greek. No, I'm just going to be Jimmy the Winnie.
That's right, and I'm taking the Pats as well. I don't think the Jags have enough offense as
Even
good
though
as...
I like the Jags. It's a tough week.
It's a tough week. The Jags are definitely an impressive team.
If
They've
there's a
improved
week
so
the
much.
Patriots could get upset in a close...
It's at Jacksonville, that's for sure.
Jacksonville in the Heat today.
But Brady,
But I'm sorry.
experience, Gronk.
Belichick.
As much as Jalen Ramsey talks, I don't see him lining up over Gronk and stopping him.
That's what I mean.
So-
The woofing can only get you so far.
Only so
And
far.
the psychology game doesn't really.
When it comes down to it,
want to play with.
no
the
Leonard
Patriots.
Fournette. No Leonard Fournette for the Jags, or at least not at 100%. He didn't look great last week. Jalen Ramsey, of course, has been talking. Everybody's wanting to go at him this season. And, not necessarily the smartest thing to do, but when you've got a guy like Gronk, you can expose Jalen Ramsey. The experience from Brady. And, I don't see the Jags. When it comes down to the situation, if you've got the game on the line, you've got Tom Brady, or you've got Blake Bortles, who are you taking, Coach?
I'm going Brady.
I'm taking Brady also, so the Pats today. Giants and the Cowboys. How about them Cowboys? I got the Cowboys today in a bounce-back game. I think the Giants' defense gets exposed a little bit against the run. I look for Zeke to be hungry this week. Look for him to eat. Dak Prescott, bounce-back game against what should be a tough opponent in the Giants, though, who do look so much better now that they've got Saquon Barkley, a little bit more of a running game. Beckham's back off injury for sure. This one's going to be a tough split, but I got the Cowboys. Who do you got, Coach?
G-Man.
Coach got the G-Men.
Cowboys. Didn't they burn us last week?
They burned us last week, but sometimes you got to go back to who burnt you.
Nah. I'm sorry. A lot of fluff. A lot of sizzle, not enough steak for me.
We'll see today. It's definitely a tough matchup. Sunday Night Football and a big rivalry game. And finally on Monday night, you know who I got. The Bears.
Bears on another primetime matchup. Going back. Soldier Field.
I look for him to take the win here today. Trubisky kind of learned from his performance last week. He looked decent. Struggled in the second half. Kind of got complacent and didn't put the nail in the coffin. The Bears' defense absolutely looked monstrous in the first half with the addition of Khalil Mack. He's been in the system for another week now. He knows more plays. They're not just telling him to go out there and rush because he's only been here for 3 days. Him meshing in that system, the Bears' defense is going to be scary. They're not playing Aaron Rodgers this week. Look for them to take home the dub.
But I can't remember who I took because if there's anybody that, Russell Wilson and the Seahawks, just a tough dude wins, bro. Underrated winner. And if anybody can go in and beat Chicago, it's probably Seattle and Russell Wilson.
Just in my opinion, the Seahawks haven't been the same with their running game attack since they lost Lynch, and I think the Bears' pass rush is definitely looking too menacing for the Seahawks to just come out and throw against them. Like I said, if the Bears can put it together on offense at all, I think
Shout
they'll
out
take
to
home
your
this game.
former quarterback, Alex Magoo.
Shout out
Practice
Magoo on the
squad, right?
Seahawks.
Or is he on
I think he's the backup.
He's the actual backup?
I'm not exactly sure, but I think he's the backup, if I'm not mistaken. So
Shout out Magoo and the fam.
Yeah, but they
Cowboys
go down
for
to
life.
the Bears. So wrapping it up, let's go ahead and give you my picks again. Chiefs, Texans, Chargers, Panthers, Saints, Bucks, Redskins, Jets, Packers, Rams, 49ers, Raiders, Pats, Cowboys, and the Bears. And those are your week 2 picks, live and direct here on Twitch TV. It is your boy Domosaurus Rex again, Big D. Any last words today, Coach,
Live
before
from
we close?
NegDog.com studios. Pit bulls in effect. Must be somebody outside waving the wrong flag because it's all
Wrong
about
team
our
color.
Bucks. Just want to thank everybody for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed the show here. We're live in effect. We'll be bigger, badder, stronger, leaner, meaner. And thanks everybody for tuning in. DomosaurusRex.com, NegDog.com. Check us out.
We're closing off today's show with like I'm Jameis Winston because we're all about our Bucks, even though he's not playing this week.
Playing the video.
Fitz Magic. No, I'm not playing the video. We're just playing the song. Getting it in today. We're closing today's show with a little bit of music. Coach, thanks for being on today. Thanks for all of my
Thanks for having
sponsors.
me.
My
I want to
pleasure.
see. Look at me in the. I want to see in the video if you.
I gotta look left to look at you.
No, so we need to switch the boxes then on the.
We'll get it. We'll get
That's
it.
what I was wondering.
We'll get it right for
So
next
that way
time.
It looks like we're looking at each other.
Yeah, instead
off
of the screen. I understand. We'll get it right. Thanks to
Yeah,
everybody
yeah,
out there
yeah.
for checking it out and checking and looking at us. And like I said, we're gonna get bigger and better. It's only episode 2 here on season 1 of the Twitch TV show. We love all the fans. We love all of you. Thanks for tuning in today. It's real important for us.
Hey, shout out
And,
Sal with the search, man. Thank you, Iron Scout.
Yeah, for sure. Big shout out to Sal, and shout out to Scoob. We love you, buddy.
And
And
this is for you, man.
this whole show and everything was for you. Thanks for the motivation, and we're gonna keep going. The face of NegDog.com. We love you, man, and we'll see you. We'll see you soon. This is like I'm Jameis Winston. This has been the Big D Show. Rest in peace, Scoob.
Yeah. Dom. Royal. Going long. Just watch the way my diamonds glisten. I staying low so people thinking that I'm squinting. Think I ain't been getting cash? What? Bitch, you tripping. Cause I'm all about my bucks like I'm Jameis Winston. Like I'm Jameis Winston. Like I'm Jameis Winston. I staying low so people thinking that I'm squinting. Like I'm Jameis Winston. Like I'm Jameis Winston. Bitch, I'm all about my bucks like I'm Jameis Winston. First round pick and I'm coming out of Florida State. Drop top speeding through your city with that Florida plate. Rookie of the year, them boys can't deny me. Hoes trying to get beside me on IG. 5'8", but my money stacking tall though. Yo chick says she wanna kick it like Ronaldo. My pocket swole like a cracker won the lotto. Find me then my shooters run up on your semi-auto. 40 on me like I'm Harrison Barnes. Fire the cannons and run the alarm. Got plenty of grass like I live on a farm. Plus never lucky, don't need any charms. Look at the stats, man, I get it prolific. Calling a play, I ain't needing a gimmick. Calling on y'all while you sitting all critic. Think I'll fall off when it stay, I've been going long. Just watch the way my diamonds glisten. I staying low so people thinking that I'm squinting. Think I ain't been getting cash? Bitch, you tripping. Cause I'm all about my bucks like I'm Jameis Winston. Like I'm Jameis Winston. Like I'm Jameis Winston. I staying low so people thinking that I'm squinting. Like I'm Jameis Winston. Like I'm Jameis Winston. Bitch, I'm all about my bucks like I'm Jameis Winston. Mira, Dumbies. Yeah. The beach. Aquafina. Kobo rookie, watch the way I lead you. Raise them flags up, I'm in the red zone. Throwing work, Evans catch it in the end zone. I heard your own girl put you in the friend zone. Got these Spanish girls twerking to that reggaeton. Give a fuck about the defense. I just made a check. Try to press your luck. That's just disrespect. Smoking on the loud pack like an Aztec. Touchdown, turn the goal line into a flight deck. Hey.
From the 5-yard line, Winston drops, looks, runs with the ball, looking to his right. He's gonna run with the ball. 3-2-1, touchdown.
Alrighty, that was my song Like I'm Jameis Winston. You can find that everywhere music is distributed, played, whatever your favorite streaming platform is, whatever you want to buy music on, Apple Music, Amazon, Tidal. Once again, I am Domosaurus Rex. You can find any of my music anywhere. Thanks for tuning in to today's Big D Show. Like I said earlier, this was dedicated to my dog Scoob, who passed away a couple days ago. I love him so much, and I'm doing everything for him. He was the face of neckdog.com. He's the logo, so if you've ever seen that, that was my dog Scoob. Go check him out in my videos from past days, and go check him out on some of my other just regular YouTube videos. He was the coolest dog ever, man, and I miss him every day already. And I just thank everybody for supporting the show, because I know it means a lot to me, and it would mean a lot to him. So that's why I used him as the face. Scoob, I love you, buddy, and we'll meet again soon one day. Rest in peace, man. Thanks for everyone for watching. We'll see you again soon.